The Desolation of Punky Dumpling is underrated like all the other Hobbit movies. Here in this opening scene is a nugget, I think it's in the extent that I didn't notice till now. You see, in the similar Alien, we learned that Sauron obviously gave the rings of power. He gave them to the men, to the elves, and the dwarves, and the 9 men became the ring wraiths. The elves immediately perceived Sauron's evil intentions. They're like, "Oh, we're on to you, oh." But it's said that the dwarves were so stubborn that they went off and did their own thing and ignored Sauron. Tolkien really never writes what happened to the 7 dwarf lords who were given rings of power, but it's held that he killed them all and took all the rings back, which would be an explanation for the disappearance of Thror, Thorin's death. In this scene, Gandalf says that Thror had a ring of power, and that would explain that Sauron probably hunted him down, killed him, and took the ring back. I'm not sure if it's canon or if it's movie silliness, but I love it. Also, in this opening scene, we have some subtle insight into Gandalf's motivation. At this point, Mithrandir would have known that Sauron was gathering his strength and searching for the ring. Gandalf would have known that Smaug, the Schluppy-Luppy, probably would have been on Sauron's side, so Gandalf really wants to kill Smaug before Sauron even gets a chance to recruit him. So that's not a piece you get in the Hobbit book or the movie, but it's kind of behind the scenes. That's probably why Gandalf, is interested in this expedition at all. I still really like the Desolation of Punky Dumpling, but a lot of scenes feel lackluster compared to the book and the other Hobbit movies. The Bjorn scenes were a resting point in the book, but it feels so out of place in a movie that needs an inciting incident to trigger some rising action. It throws off the pacing of the whole movie. In the book, the timing is perfect because we have this resting section before we get to the climax of the fighting the dragon. But in the movie, it's just like, wait, why are we starting out with this weird thing with Bjorn? And he's not really that involved in the plot. He comes back in the Battle of the 5 Armies, but I mean, he could have been done without him. He's kind of just there. Doesn't really serve a purpose. Biblo starts becoming a ring addict, but it's not very crucial to the plot as much as it is to the overarching Lord of the Rings narrative. And I know that this is no one's, but Gandalf looks way older in The Hobbit than the Lord of the Rings. Gandalf is immortal, and he's been chilling for like 5,000 years, and he wouldn't have aged a day, but I know, I'm grasping at straws. Legolas also, I mean, he looks way older in The Hobbit than the Lord of the Rings. Again, that's no one's fault. Orlando Bloom was literally like, 10, 15 years younger. But come on, for how much animating of the orcs you did, you couldn't, give Legolas's face, a little plumpy dumplings? And then the timing of the wandering through Mirkwood feels like it's supposed to be an inciting incident, but he comes 40 minutes into the movie, and the timing is way off. Going through Mirkwood is something that changes the entire rest of the course of the plot, but it's not timed right to be the inciting incident. It really should have been back when we visited Bjorn. Legolas also is not in the Hobbit book. Of course he's in the Lord of the Rings, and of course he probably would have been in the Woodland Realm at around that time. He is a woodland elf and he is a prince, but he's just not part of that. So you're putting your Hollywood chain smokers against Tolkien once again. We're gonna say, hey, can our writers write a better Hobbit narrative than J.R.R. Tolkien? I don't think they wrote a bad narrative, but it's next to impossible, and historically has never been possible for anyone to write anything as good as Tolkien's fiction work. Now, let me introduce you to the single greatest annoyance to anyone ever. And this might be why I think Unexpected Journey is better than the second 2 movies, because the first one didn't have Tauriel. Tauriel enters the scene by being way too prideful to help someone fight in her defense. Literally, look at that. In this scene, she's fighting a spider, and then another spider's coming for everyone's butts, and then the dwarf Keely, he's just like, throw me a knife and I'll stab the spider. And she's just like, no, bro, I'm a strong, independent woman who doesn't make rational decisions to protect my safety in the name of crushing the patriarchy. And everyone knows the single easiest way to make a guy like you is to disrespect him and be way better than him at everything. Remember that one scene? I could have anything down my trousers. Ask yourself this question. Why are Tauriel and Keely a good match? Try to think of one thing. I hate this. It's romance for the sake of itself. There's no chemistry. These actors are just together because they're hot. It's like Tom Cruise movies. There's no reason why Tom Cruise gets the girl. He's just Tom Cruise, and we gotta have some obligatory smooching scene. Blech. Anyway. That's a great way to hate someone after a year. That's why celebrity marriages don't work out. They just marry each other because they're pretty and got a lot of money. There's so much more to falling in love with a person than their face. Pretty was the only thing that mattered. It would all suck. There is no reason for Keely to like a random elf who just threw him into jail. What is that, Stockholm Syndrome? Is that what that's called? Gross. No chemistry. Thorin trashes the annoying king elf Thranduil, and it is so satisfying. It's the best part of. I think I've gone over this before, but you know those annoying people in life who are so good at everything. And they know it, and they hold it over, they lord it over you. They're like, I'm better than you. And then Thorin's like, I don't give a frick that I'm 3 feet tall. You're a butthead. The best part of this movie is definitely the barrel scene. Watching like Bomber crush all the orcs in his barrel and escaping this whole thing. Bilbo being sneaky. This was an incredibly well done scene in this movie. The Lord of the Rings foreshadowing is again a misdiagnosis of the audience. No one who went to see The Hobbit in theaters was interested in the Lord of the Rings foreshadowing because the Lord of the Rings movies had already come out. But we get all this foreshadowing because I don't know, I guess it's meta. The Lake Town people are super annoying and they look kind of gross. I don't know anyone who likes them. Bard isn't much of a great character. I don't think he has a very clear motivation. He has a weird combo of wanting to impress like the people of Lake Town and like make up for his family line because his dad missed the shot on the dragon or something. But he also is motivated to take care of his family and he wants to look after the people of Lake Town in general. So I don't know. His motivation has a couple of different directions and it's not exactly clear. Have I told you guys how much I hate Tariel? Woman warrior is an oxymoron. War is the province of men, Eowyn. War is for boys and is not feminine in nature. Death is the opposite of beauty and women strive for beauty. Tariel isn't beautiful because of her action. She's annoying on top of that. Rallying the people of Lake Town is awesome. This scene kills. I have the only right. Oh! Adding Tariel adds even more annoyance to the plot. In the books, all the dwarves go with the company to Erebor. But because we have to have a cringy scene with Tariel healing Keely, he and the 2 other dwarves stay behind, slowing down our story for everyone else's least favorite character. I don't like Tariel. Biblo finds the keyhole, and that's true to the book, and this scene is wonderfully done. Biblo's talking with Punky Dumpling, and it's very authentic to the book. Like, a lot of these quotes are right out of the book. Super well done scene. In the book, Smaug just flies off to Lake Town to kill all the fishermen, but because this movie needed a climax, the dwarves tried to kill him. And it was actually done very well, despite not being written by Tolkien. None of this was in the book, but it was pretty fun. And Icy Fire is a banger. The tradition of adding the songs into the credits and the drawings in the last 2 movies, in Return of the King and the Battle of the 5 Armies, is just beautiful. These songs and the credits have never disappointed me.